Hey everyone, I'm trying yet another lighting. One of these days I'll find lighting that works. Like I said, I haven't really tried a lot so far, so if you guys have any suggestions, I am open to it. We don't have access to a ton of stuff here. I do have great light that comes in my window, and I think it's more I just need a better camera to make the lighting thing work, so I'm hopefully going to be getting a new camera very soon. But for right now, I just kind of have to make do with what we have. I did a review, or I went over the brushes that I have that are my face brushes, and so I just wanted to do going over my eye brushes, since those are the ones that I use all the time. I am more of an eyeshadow person than I am a foundation person, so I'm gonna go over the ones that I have that are for my eyes. This is the Pointed Crease E48. This one is not my favorite. I don't use it very often. I don't feel like I have a ton of control with it. Just because the brush is so long, I feel like when I'm doing my crease that it just expands a lot more than I like it to. It's not a bad brush, it's just not one of my personal favorites as far as brushes go. This is the Tapered Blending E40. I use this brush all the time. I love this brush. This one, it's wide enough that it gives a really diffused look if I'm using like a transition color. As far as the crease, I've used it as a crease color before when I'm just wanting to build up my transition color to be more of a crease color, and it works really well for that as well. This is the Over Blend E37. This one is really dense, so when I want a lot of color or when I want it really blended out, I will use it either blank, so there's no color on it, and really blend everything out, or I use it to pack on a lot of color. If I'm going for like a smoky eye or something darker, then I'll use this one as my crease brush. This is the Diffused Crease E38. I really like this one as well. This one is a lot like the E40, but it's just shorter and a little bit more dense. But I found that they give a very similar result. Their result isn't so different that I'll definitely use one over the other every time. I just kind of grab for one, and then with this one I have to work a little longer to get the result of this one, but they're about the same for me personally. I know some people really think they're really different, and so they'll use them differently, but I kind of use them the same. This is the Buff and Blend E39. This is not one of the brushes that I reach for all the time. It's short, it's dense. It's just not one that I reach for unless I am doing a smoky eye and want a lot of color. But I don't do a smoky eye very often, so this isn't one that gets used very often. This is the Airbrush Blender F63. So this is actually a face brush, but I have found that I really like it as a crease brush. I am one of those people that just because it's technically a face brush doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to use it for a face brush. If it will work better for me as an eye brush, then I will use it as that. But I love this one as my crease brush. This one is the one that I grab for the most for my crease. It just kind of tapers in at the top. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it just kind of tapers in nicely and just allows a lot of precision, a lot of control, and so I really like this brush. This is the Medium Angled Shading E70. This one's not one that I reach for frequently. When I do use it, I use it for the outer V if I'm wanting a more blended outer V. If I'm not wanting a harsh outer V, then I'll reach for this one. This one has a really nice angle to it. I really like the angle that it has on it. It fits perfectly going in your crease to do that V, so when I do use it, that's what I use it for. This is the large Shader E60. This one is the one that I use for my all over color. When like I said in my first video, when I put on eyeshadow, I have to use a cream shadow as well as a primer, and so I always top the cream shadow with an all over color, just to make it all neutral, make it all easy to build on top of. So this is the brush that I use for that. It's flat, it's really narrow. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it just works really well to just put a quick swipe of color on there. This is the wide shader E59. This one I don't use very often. When I have used it, I've used it kind of as an all over eyelid color. It is very, very dense, very, very short, and it's pretty wide. So that's why I don't use it very often, is because I have some ones that are like this that are just a little more narrow that I like better, because then I can do lots of different colors, because I like doing lots of different colored looks. If I'm doing just like a 1 or 2 color look, then I reach for this one, but I usually like to build up a little more than that, so I usually reach for the smaller ones. This is the Eye Shading E55. This one I don't use very often. It's kind of rounded at the top. It's pretty dense. It's about as dense as the E59 that I just showed. And so it does pack on a lot of color. It's just not my favorite brush though. I haven't fell in love with it, so I just don't reach for it very often. This is the cream color E58. When I am using my own paint pot, I use my fingers, but when I am doing it on somebody else and using the other ones that I have, this is the brush that I use. It works great, has a lot of control. It's pretty narrow, so you can get it into the tight like corners of the eye, stuff like that. So this is the one that I use when I use cream shadows on other people. Kind of losing my light. The sun's apparently going down. This is the Firm Blender E44. This one I don't use very often. It is very dense. When you use it to blend, it gets rid of a lot of the color, and I like a little more harsh lines than this one creates, so I just don't grab this one very often. This is the Firm Shader E57. This one is one that I use a lot. This is the one that I use to pack on color. I use it in the outer corner, like on the center of my eyes. This is the one that I reach for when I'm wanting color packed on really well. This one and that one and this one, which is the short shader E20. This one's just a little smaller, but it's pretty much the same as that other one. So this one I use more for like the inner corner and my lighter colors, just so that way I have a darker color one and a lighter color one. But I really like both of those brushes. I have 2 of the pencil E30s. I have a dark one and a light one. And I usually use these for highlight or for smudging under my eyes. So the white one I use for the highlight color, because I always use light colors with it, so it's just easy to keep track of. And the dark one I use for like under, if I'm doing a dark eye color, I'll smudge this over my liner. This is the Exact Blend E32. This one I've never used. This is the only eye brush that I haven't used. So this one I really need to put in my rotation, so I get used to it and can tell you guys what I personally like using it for. This is the Small Angle E65. I love this brush. This is what I use for, I've used it for eyebrows, I've used it for cream cream eyeliner, I've used it for powder eyeliner, like using my eyeshadow. I love this brush. This brush I use all the time. This is the Eyeliner E05. I have used this with liquid liner and gel liner. It's not my favorite. I do reach for it when I don't have a liquid or a cream that comes with an applicator itself. I do reach for this one, but usually the ones that I get have one with it, so I don't reach for it. And then I have 2 of the Blending E25s. They're just the little travel size. They're the ones that I got for getting my brushes, and definitely when I have to do my makeup on the go, which isn't very often, I bring these ones because you can do a lot of different things with these little brushes. They're really good for an all over color on your eyelid. They're really good for crease, good for blending. So these are the ones that I reach for when I'm going somewhere. So those are my eye makeup ones. I will show you the little container that we have them in. Like I said in my previous brush video, we didn't have a lot of space, just kind of had to find what we had here. So this is a McDonald's number 23 of the Euro cup for soccer. So this is what I have it in. So they're just sitting in there waiting for me to use them. Thanks for watching. Bye.